I know it's spooky season, but it's also sexy vampire season. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is April and I'm so glad you're here today to talk about vampires. I love vampires. They weren't always my favorite because I was not a Twilight person at all. But I love the grittier, darker, more vicious vampires for sure. And maybe even the broody ones, okay? We can deal with broody, just not glittery, okay? This is a collaboration video. Beccie from Bex Reads put this together like the queen she is. If you are not subscribed to Beccie, you should be because she is amazing. She reads incredibly diversely and I love what she has to say about books, honestly. She's so like eloquent. A lot more eloquent than I am, okay? Anyways, there are a lot of others doing this tag as well, and I will make sure to put them in the description box below. Also, I'm sure there will be a playlist, so make sure to check that out as well, so you can just watch vampire after vampire after vampire, okay? Anyways, let's get into some of my favorite vampires for spooky season right now. The first vampires that I want to talk to are actually all of the vampires in Tessa Bailey's series that she wrote, her vampire series. I actually really love this entire series. My favorite vampire is Elias, who is in the third book. But I guess we'll talk about Jonas first. Jonas is kind of like the head vampire of this little motley crew of found family vampires. He is having a trick played on him. He got drunk or knocked out or something like that, and he wakes up in a morgue, okay? He wakes up in a morgue, and this lovely, beautiful lady is like, what? You're alive? And anyways, he's like, yeah, this is just a joke on my friends. And anyways, it's the dead of night, and she's like, well, I'm gonna walk home. He's like, you cannot walk home by yourself. And so he walks her home for like 10 minutes, and the entire time he's just like, only 10 minutes, only 10 minutes, only 10 minutes. He just like, she's like, why is this guy not wanting to be in my presence? Well, it's because he's a vampire and he's attracted to her and he wants a drink, you know? But anyways, Jonas is a very responsible, upstanding vampire. He actually wants to help other vampires transition once they've, you know, unfortunately been transition to a vampire. So that's what his goal is in this one. And this series is just really fun. I'm holding up this book, but this is actually the second book. And this is not Jonas's book. This is Jonas's book. Okay? This is Tucker's book. Tucker's like the comedic vampire, okay? He's like the comic relief vampire. He's also an Uber driver. And he meets Mary, who is blind, and she screams and has some kind of magical powers, and he needs to help her out in some way. This one's the shortest one of the three, but my favorite vampire is also the broodiest vampire, and that is Elias. Elias, met the heroine, who is a vampire hunter, before he was turned. And he met her in Vegas. He was gambling and then saw her from across the room. They had a steamy night together. And then years go by and now they're on opposite sides, right? He's a broody type of grumpy vampire, and then she is a vampire hunter that is like incredibly skilled. And I just love this one most because I just love that vampire hunter dynamic. Like, I don't know, maybe it's the Buffy fan in me, but I just freaking love it. My next favorite vampire is Rain. Rain from Serpent and the Wings of Night. I absolutely love this book. It's one of my favorites this year and probably will be on my top 10 for sure. This is a book about Araya. And Araya is a human living in a vampire world. She was taken as a young girl by the Vampire King. And her one wish in life is to become a vampire. And she can achieve that by winning these trials that's going to be held and asking a goddess for a wish. So she's in these incredibly bloody, vicious trials this entire book. And she has to kind of team up with Rain, who is in an opposing kingdom. So it's kind of a little bit of star-crossed lovers type of situation. They are reluctant allies at first, and they kind of grow together as they go through these trials. I really adored this book. It's very high action for Carissa Broadbent. I think Carissa Broadbent can either write very character-driven stories, but this one is more action-driven, and I think that's why I like it more, to be honest. It's just right up in my wheelhouse. And of course, Rain is a sexy vampire that is also brutal, and I just love him. And then we have a teacher vampire, right? This is one of my absolute favorite vampires, and it is Voltu from Blood Orange. Voltu is the vampire that inspired Dracula. So he's not Dracula, but he inspired Dracula. And he's very old. And again, we have a witch who has to infiltrate this school because he's a music teacher to try and kill him. So she's a witch hunter, a witch vampire hunter, and she glamours herself in a way that he doesn't know who she is. And there's a lot of sexy things about an organ. Like that's the like musical instrument of choice here is an organ, which I thought was weird and not entirely sexy to me at first. But damn, Karina Halley does it. Okay, I just freaking love this book. It's set in not Italy, not Rome. What is that city? Venice. It's set in Venice. He's a teacher, she's a student. Of course, they're both adults, so it's not really taboo in my opinion. But what he does to her, holy crap. And this one also has a very explosive cliffhanger ending in it that really wowed me. Like the book itself, I think I was kind of like, okay, this is good. Like I like it throughout the whole thing. Until the end. The end is what made me give it 5 stars, honestly. Like, because I did not expect it at all, and it was very explosive. So this is a duet. I have read the second one as well. Love that one too, but this one is my favorite. So then for a lighter, sweeter, rom-com-y vampire, you have Devraj from Don't Hex and Drive by Juliet Cross. This whole series is delightful, but Devraj is like, he is that sexy hipster vampire that's also a Bollywood actor type thing. He comes into town and runs over the heroine. She's already so scared about cars and she just runs into him with his car, and he tries to make up for it the entire book. This is just a really sweet, again, vampire story. Devraj is extremely he's a caretaker, and he is just such a cinnamon roll, and I just really loved him. B from Mama Needs to Read Romance loves Devraj as well, and I totally see why. He's also one of my favorites. Even though I like the dark and twisties, I also like the sweet ones too. Who like ask if they could drink your blood, you know? And then also probably one of my favorite vampires so far that I have read is of course Father Caleb from the Make Games series. Father Caleb is so angsty. He is so angsty. He was a priest, he got turned into a vampire, but he still wants his faith, and in walks Sunday. And he just cannot resist Sunday. He is also a vampire daddy priest who has a secret sex dungeon, okay? Father Caleb was also an incredibly tortured person. He tortures himself constantly. He like whips himself and all that kind of thing in his sex dungeon. But also his big claim to fame is that when Sunday does something wrong, he is a daddy and he will spank her. Did I mention he was also Irish? He's also Irish. Y'all need to read the audiobook of this one. I'm serious, okay? Anyways, those are all my favorite vampires currently. I am in October right now, and I'm about to read a ton more spooky books, including some more vampire books. So maybe in the future there will be a part 2. You never know. please go ahead and check out all the other ladies who are doing these videos in this collab. Thank you again to Beccie for letting me participate. And let me know if you have a favorite vampire that you just cannot stay away from. Are they broody? Are they funny? Let me know. As always, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you aren't already, and have a wonderful day. Bye.